Liverpool versus everybody. Liverpool 4, Genk 1. Obviously, late recap reaction. Actually, I had to watch the game a bit later than I wanted to. But excited to get into this one because there's a lot to talk about in this game, good and bad, in my opinion. And the first thing I want to say is the idea that, with the fact that we got a win away from home, a pretty easy win. And you want to see that against an inferior opponent. You want to see Liverpool really flex their muscles, really, to be quite honest. And they did that. That's what you're supposed to do to a team like that. It's unfortunate that we conceded a goal. That those kind of things just can't happen. And we know why they happen. We'll get into that, some of the defensive issues that we had in the game and things of that nature. But 4-1 win away in Belgium, you can't ask for much more than that. We'll get to the performance. But the lineup, wow. I love that Klopp went with Naby and Ox. I think a lot of us wanted that. The idea that he actually did it, I didn't really see that coming. I thought maybe a Milner in the midfield. I had a feeling he'd give either Genie or Henderson a rest. Wasn't sure it'd be both of them. But that's big. And it's good because obviously we wanted to see it, but also it gives us a real glimpse as to what we have with the different midfield, what else we can offer, what surprises we can spring on teams, but also it shows you just how kind of leaky we could be defensively. And not that Naby and Ox can't do those defensive roles or those workman-like roles that Hendo and Genie do. I think they definitely can do that. They've both shown that in their careers, particularly Ox playing defensive football in a defensive position a lot of times with Arsenal. But they haven't done it as long as Hendo and Genie have in this current setup, and adopting the roles that Klopp has tasked these players with. So that was big. That was big. Ox, listen, some people might disagree with me. I don't think he had a great game, but the goals are incredible. The first goal is just I've never seen a goal like that. It was slow mo. It was weird. It didn't really seem like he put much on the ball, but it went in. But that second chip, flip, whatever you want to call it, I mean, that's something you try on a training pitch. For him to have the audacity to do it and get it, it even made it better that it hit off the post. I mean, incredible shot. Incredible shot. If his name is something different, people are talking about that for weeks. So the thing with Ox is he showed, in the bit of time he had against United, he showed what we missed from him. The shots from out the box, the outside the box, the picking up the ball and running with it. I mean, if these guys can stay fit, man, it's a big if, unfortunately, but if they can stay fit, I'm telling you, man, the fact that we can just switch things up in that midfield based on the opponent and even just implement, you can have a situation when you have a Genie and a Naby. You can have a situation where you have a Milner and an Ox, a Hendo and an Ox, and you can have the best of both worlds. That midfield that is can solidify the midfield, can hold it down, can hold the ball, can keep the ball, can pass the ball, can drive, can defend. So we got to get to a point where we realize what a great mix is. You know what I mean? We don't want to just have Naby and Ox only for certain games, or have just Ox or just Naby only for certain games. We want to be able to mix it up. And so I look forward to seeing Klopp figure that out and get that going. Look, back to what we learned about in a negative way is that we do look a little bit wide open with those two guys, and that should be something that we should have expected. And I think against a better team, if it wasn't Genk, that game could be a bit different. I'm not saying we would have lost, but that game could have been a bit different, a little bit more nervy in moments. And in those moments, again, if it was a different team, that could have ended slightly different. But that's okay. That's things you got to learn and grow with, and we'll be fine. It'll be for the better for the squad, I think. And again, having Milner at right back, and having Lovren in the team, obviously you're going to have some issues, right? That's just not our usual defense. And I think those guys both are capable of doing a role. There's a guy on the LFC Day Trippers, I think his name is Gav. Decent show, by the way. Check it out if you can. They have a podcast and they're on YouTube, and a pretty decent presence on Twitter. But the guy Gav said that, and this made a lot of sense to me. I never really thought about it. Lovren seems like a guy that if we're just coasting in a game and we're just flying, it's good, no problems. He usually can do okay. If we're struggling in the game, he tends to. I'm sorry. If we're doing really well in the game, he almost gets a little lax and he tries to do like special things. That ball that he could have just cleared out, what is he doing there? I mean, every time we try to big Lovren up, he had a great game against Leicester City. Bro, just kick the ball out of bounds. What are you doing? This is the stuff about Lovren that you just don't understand. And there's been extreme hate against Lovren, and that I don't subscribe to. But these are the reasons why people have issues with him, because he does goofy shit like that. Gomez wasn't great. But, look, again, it's a good win. It's a very, very important win in this group. Very, very important away win, just for all the reasons I mentioned. I think it's been 2 seasons that we didn't have an away win, which is a little bit shocking to me. When you really think back on it, though, we haven't. And so that's good. And then in the group, obviously, would have liked to see Salzburg get a point out of that at least, or even a win. But, again, we're second. Napoli's at top. And it looks pretty good. You got to believe we'll beat Genk at home. The Salzburg game was going to be tricky, especially being away at their ground. The Napoli game at home would be tricky. But these 2 games everyone was talking about, if we can get these back-to-back games against Genk, we should be pretty good. And so that's really good. And obviously, getting a win after a result that none of us were really proud about, the performance at least. The result, I think, it depends on who you ask, but to get that result, to get a win back in winning ways is good. To see Mo Salah back. That third goal, I think, for Mane, the triangle passing, bruh, again, if that was City or anyone else, I mean, that's football, as Klopp says. That is football right there. And Firmino, I mean, I think we've finally seen a guy in the human race, first ever in his time, that has eyes literally in the back of his head. I mean, some of the passes he was pulling off in that game, that's what I was ashamed he didn't have more assists, or at least a goal or something, because I think, for me, that's my man of the match. I know he didn't score a goal, but he was doing so much, man, picking the ball up deep and just conducting the whole orchestra of this Liverpool team. So, I'm happy with the win. There's definitely some concerns there, but again, a lot of that has to do with guys playing out of position, particularly Milner and Lovren. I don't think there's anything we really got to be worried about. The high line, I think, is a good thing. There's still people who are concerned about that and us getting caught out. There hasn't been many times that we've gotten caught out, to be honest. And that's what you want to do when you work the system when VAR comes into your league. I think that's one of the best things you can do, especially when you got defenders who can make up ground if that's not right. Now, what I don't want to see is guys looking at the ref, waiting for a flag to get raised, which I think I saw Lovren do 1 or 2 times. There was a time where a cross came in on Robertson's side. He didn't stop the cross, and Milner let him know about that, which he should have done as a captain. But just in general, we have to not be so lackadaisical on crosses coming in. I've been talking about this for the longest time. And because our defense is so good, but shout out to Wilder, the manager over at, what is the team that just came up? Jesus Christ. Sheffield United. Their defense, brother, you hear me? Their defense is no joke. So, as our defense is we get it. We have a top defense in the world, not even just the Premier League, but those crosses, again, in the United game, I hate to go back to that, but in the United game, that cross could have been stopped. Now, and part of the pause in the defense seemed like there was a slight pause in the United team, but they kept playing, which they should have done, because we thought we'd get the foul. But you have to just play your game. Because we played a high line, I don't want us depending on the refs to make their call. They'll make the call, or VAR will make it for us. But play your game. Do what you got to do. So that's one thing I'm slightly concerned about, because you got to stop those crosses. I mean, Robertson has to do. He's been at fault for it. Trent's been at fault for it. Hell, if Robertson's out of the picture, Van Dijk's been at fault for it. So we have to make sure we're stopping those crosses, is what I meant to say. So hopefully Matip is back again. It's good to see Salah back. I thought Mane was amazing as well. So I'm just looking forward to the Spurs game. Another big game against an opponent that, look, they haven't had their best way. But, they had a good result in Europe. And that could only mean something positive, I would imagine. So can't take this team lightly. I think there's some people who are going to be thinking it's going to be a destroy. We're going to destroy them at Anfield. And listen, the fact that it's at Anfield gives us that extra bonus, that extra feel, that extra confidence, a bit of pep in our step. But it's another football game, and anything can happen. Anybody can get got at. Don't ever forget that. So, again, I'll get more into what I think a lineup should be. Maybe try to get some of the boys on between tonight and Sunday. But yeah, man, just proud of the boys to get a win. Get a win away from home. That's big. We look really good in the group right now, and may it continue. So enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Sundays will be here sooner than we think, and we'll be coming together again and talking football. So enjoy your evenings, and I will see you guys sooner than later.